Their threat is on the rise Sunday for the South. Nearly 13 million people in North Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are bracing for an enhanced or level 3 of 5 risk for severe weather.
Why should anyone care about Rahul Gandhi's disqualification apart from the Congress party? It's not as if what he's been disqualified for is a larger public cause.
Are we seeing a sleeper Khalistani nexus at play in Punjab, which has allowed Amrit Pal to evade the law?
Unfortunately, Punjab has that sleeper cells right from 18s.
मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है that we are in conversation with 4 medalists at the World Boxing Championship, the Women's World Boxing Championship, and all of them have won gold.
टारगेट अगर बड़ा होता है तो डिफिकल्टीज भी बड़े ही आते हैं.
Donald Trump trying to run for office again. Do you reckon he'll be able to win the Republican Party nomination? And why are Republicans still sort of rallying around him?
That Trump will get the Republican nomination. I think if he is nominated, he will lose for sure.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. With their 3 chief ministers in tow, MPs, MLAs, general secretaries, disqualified MP Rahul Gandhi turned up at the Sessions Court in Surat today to finally appeal against his conviction in the Modi surname defamation case. Rahul Gandhi has sought an interim stay on the conviction, which would also restore his Lok Sabha membership. Surat Court has extended his bail until April 13 and the hearing in the case challenging Rahul's conviction will now come up on May 3. So that's going to be D-Day, at least the first one that approaches the former Congress president. After 2 weeks of delay, which prompted a lot of questions as to why the Congress is not being quick to act in this legal matter, finally the appeal has happened. Now, this was also an occasion to muscle flex for the Congress, with senior leaders, as I mentioned, in attendance. Party workers, for example, seen outside holding placards at the Surat Court, protesting Rahul's disqualification. Overall, though, the question that persists is, will any of this help the Congress ahead of 2024 elections? And is it now certain that the party will indeed continue to push Rahul as a challenger to Narendra Modi? That narrative, mind you, helps the BJP. That's what experience tells us. Also keeps other like-minded parties away from the Congress fold because they're ambitious too. So it can be a risky strategy. Will Rahul Gandhi be Modi challenger for 2024? That's the big question we'll take to our guests in just a bit. Now, Rahul Gandhi's appeal challenging his conviction was accompanied by 2 applications. The first being an application for suspension of sentence, which is essentially an application for regular bail, and the second being an application for suspension of conviction. Now, if the second application is successful, as we'll know from May 3 onwards, that is, his conviction is suspended, eventually completely revoked, then his membership of the Lok Sabha can also be restored even in the interim. As I mentioned, it was a day of Congress party showing support to Rahul Gandhi, thankfully with no untoward incidents this time, something we witnessed a few times in the past when the Gandhis are involved. Many top leaders of the party, including its chief ministers, accompanied the former Congress president to Surat. These included the likes of Ashok Gehlot, Sukhwinder Sukhu, Bhupesh Baghel. Rahul was also prominently flanked by his sister Priyanka in Surat. Posting a picture of his from today's court appearance, Rahul Gandhi once again hit out at Narendra Modi-led central government. He tweeted, and I quote, "Against Mitrakal, this is a fight to save democracy. In this struggle, truth is my weapon." This is paraphrasing because he tweeted in Hindi, but once again, this is an attack directly on the Adani issue on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Speaking of whom, the Prime Minister continued his stance against corruption, giving another strong message to political opponents today who've accused his government of using central agencies against them. So while addressing the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the CBI, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a clear message to the probe agency, said no matter how powerful the corrupts are, action should be taken against them. Listen in.
आपको कहीं पर भी हिचकने, कहीं रुकने की जरूरत नहीं है। जिनके खिलाफ एक्शन ले रहे हैं वो बहुत ताकतवर लोग, बरसों बरस तक उन्होंने भी एक इकोसिस्टम बनाया है। ये लोग आपका ध्यान भटकाते रहेंगे, लेकिन आपको अपने काम पर फोकस रखना है। कोई भी भ्रष्टाचारी बचना नहीं चाहिए।
Now, the case against Rahul Gandhi is, of course, not of corruption. This is the defamation case. But there are issues relating to corruption that Rahul Gandhi, the opposition at large, and the BJP have been talking about. So, the big question we're asking today, will Rahul Gandhi be the challenger in 2024 to Narendra Modi? Today, he challenges his conviction that has disqualified him as a parliamentarian. That coming up next.
have absolute faith and confidence in the judicial processes, and we'll respect whatever is decided by the Honorable Court.
कोई अपील में जा सकता है, आपको यह अधिकार निचली अदालत ने दिया था, और अपील करने के प्रक्रिया में एक ही वकील काफी होता है या आपके एक बैटरी ऑफ वकील जाकर अपील कर सकते हैं?
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Tohin Sinha from the BJP, Advocate Mahima Singh of the Congress Party, Ajay Umat, Group Editor, Nav Gujarat Samay, and Alak Alok Srivastav is advocate on record at the Supreme Court. Let me just quickly first handle the legal issue here. Alak Alok, I want to understand from you very quickly, as far as such defamation cases go, criminal defamation in which Rahul Gandhi has been convicted for 2 years, how easy or difficult is it to get not just a stay on conviction, but to completely reverse the conviction?
It's not going to be an easy task for Mr. Rahul Gandhi. It's a detailed judgment which has been passed by the learned trial court in this case. As far as I understand, a lot of reasonings and citations have been assigned by the learned trial court. So it won't be an easy task. In defamation, as you see, it is definitely, if a case is proved in the court of law by adducing sufficient evidences and by examining witnesses, etc., and a conviction is made out, then it is not very easy for the appellate court to just like that reverse the conviction and acquit the person.
Okay.
So it is not going to be an easy task for Mr. Rahul Gandhi in this case.
Okay. Very quickly, I want to understand from Mahima also. Mahima, the BJP today came out taking a dig at this huge contingent of the Congress party that went to Surat. Once again, calling it a drama. We've seen something like this play out in the National Herald case, but possibly not. That was much larger. This is not to that level. Even in some of the ED appearances as all, you know that things went out of hand. The question I want to ask you is, why is there a need for the Congress to convert this into some sort of a show of strength? We all know you stand by Rahul Gandhi regardless.
Good evening all. तीर जी की अपनी जिद है, जुगनुओं की अपनी जिद, रोशनी की अपनी जिद है, जुगनुओं की अपनी जिद. ये प्रबुद्ध सौरभ ने कहा है, and let me just say that you're asking me what is the need for the Congress to create such a scene, you are calling it.
No, I said show of
Rahul
strength,
Gandhi.
but the BJP is definitely calling it some sort of a drama.
Let me say that our Honorable President, Mr. Kharge, has actually, made a point in saying that this is solidarity, that the Congress family, that the supporters of Mr. Rahul Gandhi are coming out to show. Because, you see, the point of the matter today is that what is the need for the BJP to create such a brouhaha around the entire matter to evade from the accountability in the Adani scam, just to evade the accountability and answerability, and so that they will not have to make a point in the parliament regarding that, the questions that our leader Mr. Rahul Gandhi has raised in the parliament. The BJP is, touching lowest of the lows.
Okay,
because
I'm not quite going. One second, Mahima, I'm not quite touching that issue just yet. I think we've heard these arguments from the Congress party. This is a court order and let's just respect it for what it is. This has no connection with the Adani case and you are free to, of course, go on as far as the Adani case is concerned. But let's not really equate them when we're talking about a legal case here. I'm sorry, I do have to come in as far as that is concerned. Yes.
Let me just finish, Shivani. Allow me to finish what I was saying.
Yes.
You're talking about the court order. Being an advocate, I can tell you, and we have an advocate on the panel who would also either rebut or attest what I'm saying. That the maximum punishment in any offence. In any offence, maximum punishment is given to somebody who's a repeat offender in the eyes of the court of law. In this case, maximum punishment has been inflicted upon a parliamentarian, knowing very well what the consequences will be.
But didn't the court order precisely say this, that Rahul Gandhi is a repeat offender? Giving the example of the Supreme Court case where he had to apologize unconditionally. The court exactly made that argument.
Repeat offender means, Shivani, in terms of being convicted. Repeat offender doesn't mean, in case of Supreme Court apology, it was inadvertent misquoting of the Supreme Court.
In any case, I am not here to speak on behalf of the court. I'm just saying, let's talk about this issue. The Adani issue is separate. Let's not confuse the court conviction with the Adani issue, but you can talk about the Adani issue separately. I'll give you time. One second. Mahima, one second. I want to quickly go across to Tuhin Sinha also. Why is it that the BJP also is commenting on each and every aspect of what the Congress party is doing? Today, you're commenting about how many people accompany Rahul Gandhi. Earlier, you were saying there is some conspiracy within the Congress party to keep Rahul Gandhi out. You're also giving it a lot of mirch masala, no, every day.
Good evening, Shivani. Good evening, everybody. I think with his contrived gimmicks today, Rahul Gandhi has proved that he is the biggest coward in the country. After demonizing all the institutions of this country, be it the judiciary. In fact, as recently as 2 weeks ago, Mr. Kharge had commented that the judiciary had been under pressure to give this judgment. Today, he had no option but to go and file a plea, which he could have anyway done without any brouhaha. Which only shows that he has no support for the issue within the country. Because in the last 2 weeks, they tried to drum up support. They have absolutely no support. And in such occasions, when you go with a crowd on an occasion where his presence was not even required, it is clearly to intimidate the judiciary.
So, intimidate? Isn't that a bit of a jump? Whether this is for political optics, so be it. Political parties cannot be criticized for political optics. But how can you jump the gun to such an extent and claim this is to intimidate the judiciary? I don't think judiciary in India is intimidated like this.
For what, Shivani? Political optics for what? At the end of the day, he should realize that he has hurt the sentiments of lakhs of people in the country who have that surname. So
no, he's fighting that case. That's also his right. You may say that, but he has stages of legal appeals left.
To abuse anybody. He has a right to go against the legacy of his own grandmother who had praised Veer Savarkar.
Okay, let's not get into Savarkar. Mahima, very quickly, please respond to the show today.
How about Khushbu Sundar, who had made similar comments, in fact, very identical in 2020? What would the BJP spokesperson say to that? The tweet is very much on the record. Let him comment on that. If he's talking about the sentiments of the community. And let me just say, and let me take you to the state of Haryana for a moment, where the BJP's, love for judiciary is very visible. When the CM says that एक जज का माथा थोड़ा खराब है, उसको ठीक कर देंगे. Just today morning, that's the headline. And let me also just say that in the very state of Haryana, Ram Rahim's trial was being undertaken, and his supporters came around the court. The very Ram Rahim who's brought out on paroles nearing every election in the state of Haryana.
Okay, Tohin, please respond. 30 seconds.
This is precisely where the current Congress is impossible. Instead of drilling sense into Rahul Gandhi, this is not the first defamation case. He's facing 6 other defamation cases. And the defamation cases are only going to pile up if people like you encourage him with such behavior.
Okay, can I just quickly go across to our political expert joining us on the show? One second. Ajay Umat, I want to come to you. And the central issue we've been debating for quite some time since, his conviction happened and since his disqualification happened is just how does this help the Congress party? Do you believe there's a sense emerging that the Congress not only is going to use this politically, of course, but that they are quite keen to project Rahul as their leader? During recent state elections, for example, we've seen they don't want to be seen to be doing that. But as far as 2024 is concerned, do you believe the Congress is going to do that? And how is that strategy, if true, is going to pan out for them?
Absolutely. Congress party is using Rahul Gandhi as their poster boy, and they are playing sympathy card. Today also, as one of the panelists has rightly said, that, if Rahul Gandhi would not have come here, because convict is not supposed to come to a sessions court or high court, their advocate. If you sign a wakalatnama, they could have done it. But I think this episode has started from Kolar in Karnataka.
Yes.
Rahul Gandhi and Congress party wants to play a victim card. They had a plan to go to that Lajpur jail also, though they did not get permission. Otherwise, yesterday night, Congress people were planning to have a march to go to Lajpur jail in Surat also, and it was nothing but photo opportunity and all such things. And the Congress party is organizing a big rally in Gujarat on 23rd of April, either in Ahmedabad or in Surat, just to play their victim card. So absolutely, this is nothing but politics and political optics. I think otherwise Rahul Gandhi would not have brought Priyanka Gandhi and 3 Congress Chief Minister and Mallikarjun Kharge. There was no point bringing them, because we all knew this is a case where, less than 3 years punishment given by a magisterial court, you will simply, within a fraction of minute, you are going to get bail, and the matter would be heard on a given date by a judge, which has happened in this case.
No, but the reason, Mahima ji, I'll give you time. Just 1 second. Umar ji, the reason I asked, I'll give you time.
There's a reason. Let me please come in here. Because you see, the respected panelist has just said, not supposed to go to the court. What is he talking about? Day in, day out, we see that the appellants, the petitioners' families, the defendants' families, for the simple reason, every day you go to the court, you'll see there are more supporters of family of accused in the court than there are, litigants. And
really? This many? Are you seriously saying that there are 3 chief ministers who accompany other convicts? Convicts is the right term here, by the way. He's not accused anymore.
Accused. I said, okay, in this case, the convict is the strongest voice of opposition in the country.
Fair enough.
I'm talking about normal cases. And Shivani, in this case, mind you, why is it bound to be acquitted by the higher court? There are severe bypasses. There's a bypass of Section 202. There's a bypass of Section 199 of CRPC. So, you see, it's a very weak, very lame
Fair enough. I'm not getting into that arguments just yet. Mahima, anyways, I said I'm not here to debate what the court said is right or wrong. He is fighting his case, that is fine. But I think the other advocate, one second. Mahima, please, you mustn't speak over me. Please, you mustn't speak over me.
What Mr. Umar said that they're not supposed to come is very wrong.
I think what he meant is, he can clarify, but what he meant is, in this case, Rahul Gandhi's personal appearance was not required. Am I right, Mr. Umar? That's what you meant.
That's an appellant's call.
Yeah, fair enough. Of course, it's his call.
I meant that only, and I don't want to offend this, Congress party, but in normal case, a convict is not supposed to come to court. His advocate would have...
True.
Again, you're saying not supposed to come.
I am using the word.
Okay, Mahima, let him finish. Mahima, let him finish. You made your point. Yeah.
Even if his advocate would have come to this court, he would have got the same treatment, that his sentence would be suspended till the final outcome of the court case. That is a clear-cut case.
Okay, one second, Mahimaji, not like this, please. I think both of you made your point. Your point also stands. Rahul Gandhi has the right to go if he wants to go. Mr. Umat is just saying he needn't have gone. It's not required in law.
And it's not required in law. But my point was that he came with Priyanka Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, and 3 other chief ministers, and thousands of Congress workers.
He didn't come with them. They came for him. He didn't come with them.
That's like potato.
Listen, they all traveled in the same chartered bus from Surat Airport to.
No, it's not a matter of coincidence. Let's not insult everybody's intelligence here. You are free to do it. But let's not pretend that it's a coincidence that 3 of your chief ministers from 3 different states landed up in Surat at the same time, in the same flight, in the same bus.
Solidarity.
Yeah, of course it is solidarity. Why are you acting so defensive about it?
Shivani, logistics, the same flight suited everybody's convenience. Simple as that.
But why are you being so defensive about the fact that 5 of your top leaders were with Rahul Gandhi?
Solidarity for our leader.
Of course there is solidarity. I asked you exactly this question at the very top. We believe you stand with him. Maybe this show required or not. But anyways, you've answered that. Mr. Alok has been waiting. Alok, you wanted to clarify a few things as well. Please go ahead before I return to the political question.
Absolutely. I just want 2 minutes uninterrupted because this platform, I would like to clarify certain legal positions. First and foremost, a blatant lie is being propagated across India that this disqualification of Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been directed or has been committed by the central government, whereas the position of law is that as per Lily Thomas judgment of 2013 propounded by Honorable Supreme Court of India, and also as per section 8.3 of RP Act, the moment a person is convicted for 2 years or more than 2 years, he is automatically disqualified and he continues to remain disqualified. So central government had no role to play in it. It was absolutely the prerogative of, as per the judgment of the Supreme Court and also as per the law, that automatic disqualification continued to remain. There was another provision of section 8 subsection 4 which was inserted, and in that provision it was provided that if this automatic disqualification takes place but the convicted MP MLA files an appeal before the appellate court, then within 3 months and the appeal is admitted, then the disqualification will go and it will be set aside and he will be resuming his position as an MP or MLA. Now that section 8 subsection 4 was also set aside by Honorable Supreme Court of India in Lok Prahari judgment.
I'm just interrupting you here because we discussed all of this last week. But today what we also have access to is the fact... One second, Alakji, please 1 second, please hold on. I don't want to go back into those arguments about his disqualification. We've discussed that. I want to discuss with you though what his plea is saying today. Of course his plea is saying that he did not mean all Modis are thieves when he said why all thieves have surname Modi. He stopped only at Narendra Modi, Nirav Modi and Lalit Modi, and therefore his intention was not to harm all other Modis. It's another matter that even somebody like Lalit Modi is threatening to file a case against Rahul Gandhi. So there will be no less trouble for him. The other argument that Rahul Gandhi is making in his appeal is that this person, Purnesh Modi, does not have any locus standi. How much of an argument do you think that is? Because I guess that was something that was looked at the first trials level as itself.
Absolutely. This particular argument was dealt by the learned trial court in a detailed manner. And as I said in the beginning, in the detailed judgment of more than 100 pages, the trial court said that no, there is an offence under section 499 and 500 IPC, that is defamation, which is being constituted herein. There is no requirement if he is tarnishing or making imputation which are causing injuries to the reputation of a class belonging to Modis, then also the section 499 very much is constituted. And in this case, the argument that it was meant for few individuals, if we hear that particular speech which he had made, it was not meant for only those 2-3 individuals, but ultimately he made allegations or he injured the reputation of entire.
Okay, so you are saying Purnesh Modi very much has a locus standi here.
Defamation is very much made out.
Okay, yes, Mr. Kamath, you wanted to.
Yes,
Umat,
so
you
far as
wanted to come
location
in.
is concerned, that is very much examined is there.
Yeah, Mr. Umat.
No. Now, the Rahul Gandhi's advocate's argument was that, he mentioned surname and not the community. Not the community. The surname, they said that Lalit Modi is not an OBC. Nirav Modi is not an OBC. They said that, he mentioned Modi as a surname and not as caste. Examples were given. Rusi Modi was Parsi. Sayyid Modi was Muslim. So many such examples were given, and they said that, all Modi's surname did not belong to OBC caste. And they said that, Mr. Purnesh Modi is a Mod Vanik community person and is not belonging to OBC community A. And the other thing they said that he is not an infringed party, he is not an aggrieved party. That is what the contents. He is not, Mr. Purnesh Modi is not an aggrieved party. The basic cutting that they had given was, of a Kannada newspaper published in Kolar. So they said that, Purnesh Modi is not an aggrieved party in this case, so there is no locus standi.
Okay.
That is what
but even if you mean a surname and not a caste, what about the members who carry that surname? Because I don't think Purnesh Modi is saying that I am an OBC, that's why I am hurt. He's saying my surname is Modi, that's why I am hurt. But in any case, I want to come back to the larger political question. Toyin Sinha, let me take this to you. This suits the BJP, isn't it? If it's Modi versus Rahul. And you would be most happy with this.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything about it. But for all his bluster over Veer Savarkarji in the last few years, we were hoping that at least this time he would show the courage and not file for a stay. He would have gone to jail. But today he has, I hope it would have been an educative experience for him where he would have realized that a petition is nothing more than a legal tool, which so many freedom fighters have filed for. So I hope he realizes and emerges as a more responsible political leader. Rest it is up to, I'm skeptical of lawyers within the Congress party because I think they encourage him to make such statements and live up to it instead of apologizing.
Okay, no, I think he's fighting this case legally. But my final question, please answer my question because I only have 30 seconds left. Do you believe that if you continue to harp on Rahul Gandhi as your face, other political parties, the likes of the TMC, maybe the AAP and others that you want to come under the Congress umbrella for a united opposition ahead of 2024 will be wary to do so? The Congress was seeming to veer away from Rahul Gandhi as their only face and maybe present a joint leadership under Mr. Kharge. Now it seems you're going back to harping only about Rahul Gandhi.
Mr. Kharge is the organizational head, that's very evident, Shivani, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi is where he is and he has always been. And I would say that we are all the opposition parties are sailing the same boat. Today what the BJP is projecting, you were talking about public intellect a moment ago when you were talking to me earlier. You were talking about the public intellect, public intelligence, and let me just say that Purnesh Modi's petition in Gujarat, the public very well understands where has it come from. So the opposition parties, whether it is the Aam Aadmi Party or TMC or the Congress or the JDU, we are all sailing the same boat. We are all targeted by the BJP. The BJP is acting as if they are the only, nationalist patriots in this country, and everybody else is an anti-national. And I think the public intelligence is very well equipped to decipher right from wrong.
All right, we'll see how this plays out. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Whether this strategy eventually works for the Congress party or could it create complications ahead of 2024? Moving on, the second big story we're focusing on is one that has been playing out for the last 1 week or so. Days after Ram Navami clashes, Bihar continues to be on edge. Tensions prevailed in the state on Sunday, a day after fresh violence was reported in Rohtas and Nalanda. The violence that broke out on Thursday last week ended after 3 days. To keep the situation under control, prohibitory orders were imposed. Central forces have also been deployed to keep the vigil up, along with the state police. Now, a massive political row has also broken out between the BJP and the ruling JDU. Union Minister Amit Shah was in Bihar, remember? He accused Nitish Kumar of sacrificing the safety of Bihar at the altar of his greed for power. Meanwhile, the JDU has alleged that BJP is interfering in state matters, law and order being one of those subjects, while asserting that things are under control. A quick check of how things have transpired last week in Bihar. First clash was reported on 31st March, both in Bihar Sharif of Nalanda and Sasaram in Rohtas. Communal tension in both the cities prevailed after stone pelting from both sides. Houses, shops, vehicles were vandalized and gutted. Several people, including policemen, were injured. Prohibitory orders were imposed in Nalanda, hence Home Minister Amit Shah couldn't visit the area on Sunday, while internet was shut in both violence-marred cities. Then on April 1st, a bomb exploded in a hut near a mosque in Sasaram. 6 people were injured and 1 death was also confirmed. Administration confirmed this happened while people were in the process of making crude bombs. On 1st April, again in Bihar Sharif, gunshots were fired by people of both communities. At least 50 rounds, 1 person was killed and 2 sustained bullet injuries. Today there was ruckus in Bihar Assembly too over this issue. Let's listen in.
तजिया निकलता है, कोई पत्थर नहीं बरसता है, लेकिन राम नवमी के शोभा यात्रा पर पत्थर बरसता है, रोकने का प्रयास करता है, हिंदुओं को अपमानित करने का बात करता है। ये अल्पसंख्यक समाज के लोगों के तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति में, वोट की राजनीति में ये बिहार को आतंकवादियों का घर बनाया जा रहा है।
बजरंग दल के लोगों के द्वारा वहां सुनियोजित ढंग से दंगा कराया गया महोदय। मैं घटना स्थल पर भी गया था और वहां महोदय दंगाई लोग प्रधानमंत्री का वो अपने टी शर्ट में फोटो छपा करके पूरे बिहार के मुसलमानों को लूटने का काम किया महोदय।
Let's also bring you the latest from Bengal now. 2 days after the violence at Ram Navami rallies in Howrah, Bengal continues to simmer. A fresh incident of violence was reported from Hooghly. BJP leader Dilip Ghosh's convoy was attacked in the area. Incidents of stone pelting, arson, physical attacks were also reported. Ghosh was whisked away by his security detail and the police, but BJP MLA Biman Ghosh was reportedly injured due to stone pelting. 12 people have been arrested so far. Mamata government has vowed not to spare any guilty, while the BJP has alleged that law and order has collapsed under Mamata Banerjee. Meanwhile, a video war has also erupted between the ruling TMC and the BJP. General Secretary of the TMC, Abhishek Banerjee, had shared a video on Twitter last week alleging that BJP is supplying weapons to incite violence. In this video that he shared, a youth can be seen holding a gun during one such procession. It was alleged to be a Ram Navami procession that was carried out in Bengal. The BJP has responded by sharing a video by the VHP that organized a rally in West Bengal on Ram Navami. They are saying that this footage that Abhishek Banerjee has put out actually is not from their rally, and there was no such weapon or anything of that sort carried as far as their rally is concerned. Abhishek's tweet, they claim, is just to malign Hindus. High drama also unfolded in Hooghly today as BJP chief Sukanta Majumdar, he was blocked from entering the violence-hit area. He stated that bombs were thrown and stones were pelted from the Muslim area, not by the BJP as is being accused by the TMC. Cops resisted Sukanta's visit as they said Section 144 was imposed in the area. The big debate that's coming up, whether it is violence in Bihar or in Bengal, is it all being done just for vote bank politics?
वोट को इकट्ठा करने के लिए, मुस्लिम लोगों को खुश करने के लिए ये प्री प्लान्ड जो कॉन्स्पिरेसी ममता बनर्जी ने किया था।
বন্দুক নিয়ে মিছিল করবে না, বোমা নিয়ে মিছিল করবে না, কিন্তু ওরা যেন দাঙ্গার নামে আবার কোনো প্ল্যান করতে না পারে এটা মাথায় রেখে দেবেন। সারা ভারতবর্ষে করছে।
Let's go across to some breaking updates that are now coming in regarding this case. Ram Navami violence matter has now reached the Supreme Court. A plea has been filed by a front called the Hindu Front of Justice over this incident that took place during Ram Navami across the country. The plea alleges that members of the Muslim community are attacking Ram Navami processions in a premeditated manner. Ananya Bhatnagar, my colleague, is also joining us. Ananya, give us a few more details of what we know about this plea.
Well, this has been filed by, the Hindu Front of Justice through Ranjana Agnihotri and Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain, who has actually filed this particular petition before the Supreme Court. Now, this is not exactly a petition, but an application for direction that has been listed in the hate speech matter that has been going on before the Supreme Court of India. And it's been clearly mentioned that the people from the Muslim community were premeditatedly attacking the Shobha Yatras and the Ram Navami processions that had taken place on the day of Ram Navami, and various parts of the country, including West Bengal. There were matter of violence. And prayers have been sought that, the chief secretaries of various states where such violence had occurred should submit a report to the Supreme Court of India. Apart from that, it has also been sought that the losses that have been caused to the people who have secured damage into this particular, these violences should be actually compensated by those who had actually who are actually indulged into this particular case. So now, when the matter of hate speech comes up before the court, we might see that an urgent mentioning also takes place of this matter when the Supreme Court actually reopens on the 5th of April. And whether or not the Supreme Court agrees to hear this particular petition on an urgent basis is something that needs to be seen when the Supreme Court actually reopens on the 5th of April.
Okay, all right. Ananya, thanks a lot for bringing us those details. Let's also go across to the guests now joining us. I'm joined by BJP West Bengal spokesperson Shatarupa. Vinod Bansal, the VHP national spokesperson, is joining us. I'm also joined by Professor Manojit Mandal, who leans towards the TMC. I'm not sure if he's through with us just yet, but let me begin with Vinod Bansal. There is an accusation coming in, Mr. Bansal, that a lot of these rallies that organizations like yourself are organizing, young boys are seen carrying swords. They are seen carrying loaded guns, weapons. How is that justified? What kind of a rally or a procession is it then?
It's very funny that if somebody is having sword or if somebody is having the licensed weapon, will be killed or will be attacked by these jihadists. And one more thing is that the way they have accused us that we were having this sword or we were having these weapons, it has all been clarified. I have released one video parallel to the video released by the Abhishek ji.
Yes, actually, I have shown that. I have shown that. But would you deny that even if in this case there was no weapon or a sword, there are other rallies organized by Hindu organizations where there are swords being wielded, or people are even carrying guns? Now, I'm not saying that's a justification for stone pelting, but I want to understand from you, why are weapons being carried in the first place?
No, two things are different. Basically, if you see the Muharram Jalus, you will see that the people are very in a bloody state. वो तो तलवार सिर्फ लेके नहीं चलते, तलवार मारते जाते हैं और वो अपने शरीर को भी दूसरे के शरीर को लहू लुहान करते हुए जाते हैं।
बट उससे इसका क्या कंपैरिजन है? नहीं विनोद बंसल जी, ये तो कंपैरेटिवनेस हो गई। उससे इसका क्या कंपैरिजन है? मुहर्रम का जो रिचुअल है वो मुहर्रम पे होता है। मुझे बताइए, राम नवमी में आपको स्वॉर्ड्स की क्या जरूरत है और ये कट्टे की क्या जरूरत है?
मुझे कुछ बोलने की अनुमति है क्या?
जी बोलिए।
मैं देखिए, मैं कह रहा हूँ आपको जो पूछना पूछ लीजिए, मेरे को लेकिन पूरा समय दीजिए, क्योंकि एलिगेशन मेरे ऊपर है। मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, देखिए कि अगर कोई स्वॉर्ड लेके चलता है तो मेरे हर एक देवी देवता के हाथ में स्वॉर्ड है और स्वॉर्ड इज नॉट बैन्ड बाय एनीबॉडी। अब मैं कह रहा हूँ, देखिए अगर स्वॉर्ड लेके चलता है इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप मेरे को पत्थर फेंकोगे, आप मेरे को जला दोगे, आप मुझे मार दोगे और आप मुझे बताइए, देखिए मुझे रोक सकते हो आप स्वॉर्ड के केस में, मेरे ऊपर केस लगा सकते हो। दैट इज अ डिफरेंट इश्यू। अगर मैं हथियार लेके चलता हूँ, इलीगल हथियार है, तो आप मेरे ऊपर केस लगाइए ना, पत्थर मत फेंकिए ना, आप मुझे आग में मत झोंकिए ना, मेरे घरों के पुरुषों को महिलाओं को उठा के मत ले जाइए ना। आप देखिए अपने ममता जी ने जो केसेस फाइल किए हैं, आज मैंने वो केस की लिस्ट भी फाइल की है, ट्वीट की है। आप देखिए 36 लोगों को उसमें अक्यूज बनाया गया है, जो उन्होंने चार्जशीट फाइल की है। आप जो अपने एक्यूजेशन जो रिपोर्ट एसडीएम के सामने फाइल की है, उन 36 में से मात्र 6 मुस्लिम हैं। आप सोचिए, और मैंने कम से कम ऐसे 6 वीडियो उनको ममता जी को टैग करते हुए ट्वीट किए हैं जिसमें मैंने कहा गया है कि इसमें 6 नहीं है, इसमें कम से कम नहीं तो आपको 100 से ज्यादा आपको लोग मिल जाएंगे, जरा पहचानिए इनको।
Okay.
आप आराम से उन वीडियो में आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं।
I'll take that to the TMC. I'll take that to the TMC sympathizer. Manojit Mandal, 2 questions I have. I have limited time, so I request you to please be focused and succinct in your answer today. One is any kind of weapon carrying a justification for stone pelting? First is this whole thing that you can't cross a quote-unquote Muslim area, or that you shouldn't cross. That in itself, is there any justification that if a procession goes through such an area, you will stone pelt? Secondly, the Chief Minister is accusing the other side of provocation. Let's say carrying weapons is a law and order issue, the police should act. But that's not a justification for stone pelting. Is Mamata Banerjee effectively giving a carte blanche to people to do whatever they feel like if they don't like something?
You celebrate Lord Rama, who stands for peace and prosperity with swords and guns, meaning that these Hindus are actually dhappas. They are fake Hindus. This person calls himself a Hindu BHP spokesperson, who is justifying carrying swords and guns on a somber, solemn occasion of Ram Navami, suggests they are dhappa in the name of Hinduism.
Okay, we are not here to give certificates of real Hindus and fake Hindus. No, I'm sorry. I find that narrative very problematic. You are not here to give certificates of fake or real Hindus like you wouldn't do for any other religion. My question to you was simple. Politically, is it a justification that you can stone pelt if somebody is carrying a gun or a sword? Is that what should happen?
Nobody is saying that.
Then?
But
you are doing it.
No, Vinod Bansal, please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. Let him speak.
This violent man, he calls himself a Hindu and provoking me.
No, don't attack him personally. Manojit, I'm not going to allow this. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow this. Answer my question. Please don't attack other panelists personally.
Why is he speaking in between?
That's fine. A lot of people speak over each other, but that doesn't move this language. Can I please have Manojit only on the screen with me, please?
Yes.
Manojit, please answer my question. It's a question about political justification to stone pelting and vandalism. Please respond to that.
Nobody will communal riots in this country is inconceivable without BJP's active participation in it. Look at the states where communal riots are taking place. All the states, either they are in power or they are in opposition. Bihar, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra.
So what's the common thread?
Gujarat.
They can either be in power or be out of power. Then what is the case?
Listen, the common threat is, even in Bengal, Ram Navami used to be celebrated even before 2016. But only after 2016, for the last 3-4 years, we are seeing some incidents of violence because of BJP's active participation.
But you are in power. What does that tell about you?
Yes. That means that we should have arrested Mr. Dilip Ghosh for doing what he's doing. Even
Dilip
today,
Ghosh went only yesterday. What happened in Howrah, for example? He was not in Howrah.
It does. Oh, you even after Ram Navami, on the day of celebration of Ram Navami, you continue with the procession for the last 4-5 days. Does that justify that?
No, but I'll come to that later. You didn't answer my question.
Number two,
I find three things problematic as far as the Chief Minister has said. One second, hear me out. Hear me out.
Chief Minister has never said that.
Okay, she has not said so, but I'll tell you what she hasn't said also. She has also not said that anybody pelting stones will not be tolerated. She has not said that also.
These people who are pelting stones and who are carrying guns and swords, both are criminals. They don't believe in any kind of religion.
But she only talks about one. She doesn't talk about the other.
Both people will be nabbed. Both people have been arrested. Okay, but this person is saying that only few Muslim criminals are criminals. Like Hindus are criminals, Muslims are also criminals. Don't divide. But these people, because they spew venom every other day, they even justify criminality by dividing them into
Can I go across
lines.
to Shatarupa? Okay. Shatarupa, there are three things I want to highlight. The Chief Minister, before this violence, said, don't go into these Muslim areas. Is that okay? After the violence, she said, because you went into these areas by changing routes, that is why this has happened. The TMC is now saying because there were some people carrying weapons, that has been denied as far as Howrah is concerned. That is why this has happened. I'm just wondering, should the state be making excuses for stone pelting? That's also a problem. Even if somebody is carrying a weapon, that's a law and order situation the police should look at. But why would somebody pelt stones for that?
Exactly, Shivani. I'm so glad you've said these things. You've pointed these out very clearly. You see, we come from a state, Monojit and me, we come from a state where somewhere, I mean, even if they're going to constantly deny, there is a vengeance to rule out any possibility of practicing Hinduism. Having said this tremendous statement, I just want to remind everybody on the panel and through you, the audience who are listening to us, who are watching us, we come from a state where Saraswati Puja has been banned. We come from a state where we have to, Durga Puja is supposed to be the biggest festival in West Bengal. We have to go and seek legal help to take out processions. Can Monojit please keep quiet while I'm talking? Now, the Honorable Chief Minister, the other day, what you are referring.
You are maligning the state by telling lies on TV.
During his airtime. But he will not. I mean, that's his culture. However, Shivani, what you have very correctly pointed out, that the Honorable Chief Minister goes out of her way and makes a public statement that you demarcating areas which are supposed to be Muslim and Hindu according to her. Now, the truth of the matter is, number one, the procession that is in question that apparently has egged on this amount of violence and stone pelting and arson was taken out by Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Vishwa Hindu Parishad VHP had informed the police that this is the route that we will be going through, and not a step was followed, deviated from. This is the route that was taken out, that was followed, and we had the VHP had asked for police cooperation.
Okay.
Not only was there no cooperation, if they are talking about a person carrying a gun in the procession, I am not sure who the person was. I don't know the person. But if at all there was this kind of a person, he should have been immediately identified and taken out and arrested. But in this case, West Bengal is attacking, lynching, stone pelting, arson. The people who have done all this.
Okay, I'll just reiterate a couple of things. I'll just reiterate a couple of things. One second, Manojit, one second. I'll just reiterate a couple of things. Carrying weapons. One second, Manojit, please don't speak over me. Please don't speak over me. You've been allowed, please.
So why did
please.
You
one second. I'll just reiterate a couple of things. Can we please mute him? I cannot have this going on. I'll reiterate a couple of things. One, regardless of route change or not, it is not a justification to attack a procession. This cannot be allowed in India. It cannot be allowed that, you know, just because a procession goes on from a certain route, you can attack it, whether allowed or not allowed. That mindset is itself the problem. Secondly, if your opposition is to songs being played or to weapons being carried, there's a way to register that complaint. It cannot be to take law into your own hands. Thirdly, what I forgot to mention earlier is the Chief Minister also says, why are you carrying these processions 5 days after Ram Navami? So is there some bar on who can carry out a procession in how many days to celebrate their festival? I'm not sure these are the right things a Chief Minister should be saying. But anyways, I want to go across to Bihar JDU leader Lav Kumar. The state of law and order has come under question, sir, by the BJP. The BJP faces a charge that everywhere they have some vote bank politics to play and to gain from it. That's where all of this violence is happening. It has happened in Maharashtra, although they are in power there. It is happening in Bihar. It is happening in Bengal. I don't know what the connection is, but that's the allegation that has been made. But fundamentally, the government in power will face the question. बीजेपी अगर allegedly कुछ करना चाह रहा है, लेकिन सरकार तो जेडीयू आरजेडी की है, तो क्यों हो रहा है वायलेंस आपकी सरकार के अंदर?
देखिए शिवानी जी, इस बात पे बहुत गंभीरता से विचार करने की जरूरत है। पहले तो इस तरह की घटनाओं की हम पूरी तरह से निंदा करते हैं और चिंताजनक है, लेकिन जैसे ही 8 महीने से हमारी सरकार बनी है, महागठबंधन की जब सरकार बनी है, तो ये एक तरह से जो एक माहौल क्रिएट करने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, एक नैरेटिव बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है और एक नकारात्मक माहौल बिहार में फैलाने की कोशिश जो बीजेपी के लोगों के द्वारा की जा रही है, उसी को ये परिलक्षित करता है। और आप सोच सकती है शिवानी जी, आप सोच सकती है शिवानी जी कि जब आज 17-18 सालों से मुख्यमंत्री जी के सुशासन के राज्य में बिहार में इस तरह की घटनाएं शायद ही कहीं कोई घटित होती थी। लेकिन अभी चल रहा है तरीके से सासाराम में जो घटना घटी, जहां आदरणीय गृह मंत्री जी का प्रोग्राम था, उसके बाद नवादा के बगल में नालंदा में जो घटना घटती है, निश्चित तौर पर चिंता का विषय और कुछ न कुछ तो लगता है कि जैसे साजिश के तहत ऐसे किया जा रहा है। और इस तरह के कार्यों से किसको फायदा होता है? कौन हिंदू मुस्लिम पर इस डिबेट को ले जाना चाहता है? कौन 2 करोड़ नौकरियों से जो बेरोजगारी है, भुखमरी की स्थिति है, महंगाई की स्थिति है, जिस तरह से भय का माहौल है, उसको अलग करके दरकिनार करके इस मामले को हिंदू मुस्लिम में करके किसको फायदा पहुंचता है?
Okay, I have 30 seconds.
सुशासन में
Chatarupa, respond to that. Ultimately, it is to the BJP's benefit when you create these conflicts anywhere in the country.
Yes, Shivani, this is what is the opposition state governments keep blaming us. But you tell me, where is the problem if as Hindus we want to celebrate a particular festival in our own way? Why should in a state, in a country where apparently everybody should be equal, where the Honorable Prime Minister says sabke saath sabke vikas, why are Hindus not allowed to celebrate in their own way? No, we are not stepping on toes under any
No, but can I ask you specifically about Bengal? 1 second, Chatarupa. Can I ask you specifically about Bengal? As Manojit Mandal mentioned, before 2016, these violences were not heard of in Bengal. It is only happening since the BJP has gained ground in Bengal.
I'm very glad you picked this up. It is not happening because BJP is gaining ground. BJP has always been celebrating Hindu festivals, and Hindus want to celebrate Hindu festivals. The problem here is the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, who thinks it is her birthright to continue a policy of specific appeasement. She will insist that she has to protect the Muslims of the world, especially of West Bengal.
Okay, I have to leave it at that. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, but we will look forward to having our guests again to discuss this persistent issue of why this keeps happening. I have to slip into a very short break. On the other side, we'll also get you the latest as far as the Donald Trump indictment in USA is concerned. He's become the first former president in the country to face a criminal charge. More on that in just a bit.
On the presence of Rahul Gandhi and an entire contingent at Surat, the Congress's take is very, very clear. He has every right to go where he wants to. He also wants to expose how the BJP misuses the investigative agencies, twist the law because they are scared of Rahul Gandhi. So for the Congress party, there is no reason why Rahul Gandhi and all the leaders should not be there, and they certainly do not want to be seen to being very defensive or on a back foot on this.
All right. Pallavi, stay on with us. We also should be getting in a word from court. Janak Dave, our colleague, is joining us live from the Surat Sessions Court. Janak, वहाँ पे अभी क्या माहौल है? सारे कांग्रेस लीडर्स अभी वहाँ पे आ चुके हैं. जो कांग्रेस के शो ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ की हम बात कर रहे हैं, उसके बारे में क्या जानकारी दे सकते हैं? Starting with Rahul Gandhi, as after 10 to 11 days, he is now set to appeal before a Surat Sessions Court over the verdict that had convicted him in a defamation suit that was filed in 2019. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will be challenging his conviction and sentencing in the Surat Sessions Court at 2:45 p.m. today in connection with the Modi surname defamation case. The appeal is going to be on the grounds that Rahul Gandhi did not defame any OBC community and that the judgment announced was wrong. The Congress leader will be accompanied by Priyanka Gandhi and also Chief Ministers Ashok Gehlot, Bhupesh Baghel and Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu. Other senior leaders, including Digvijay Singh and KC Venugopal, will also accompany Rahul Gandhi. Meanwhile, posters of Rahul Gandhi have been put up on the way to the Surat Sessions Court. On the other hand, BJP has questioned Rahul Gandhi for going to Surat Court to file the appeal, as it is not necessary for him to personally appear as a convict. BJP also slammed Congress leaders for accompanying Rahul Gandhi to Surat and accused the Grand Old Party of pressurizing the court.
ये राहुल गांधी जी का अहंकार है जो पिछड़े समाज से माफ़ी मांगने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। ऐसी क्या मजबूरी है राहुल जी कि आप पिछड़े समाज को अपमानित तो करते हैं लेकिन माफ़ी मांगने के लिए तैयार नहीं होते। ऑर्डर आया, उस दिन भी उनसे कहा गया कि आप माफ़ी मांगना चाहते हैं, तो आपने सुना राहुल जी ने कहा था गांधी हूँ, गांधी माफ़ी नहीं मांगते।
कोर्ट के निर्णय के ऊपर हम बहस नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन अन्याय के खिलाफ तो हम लड़ सकते हैं। तो हम लड़ रहे हैं सरकार के खिलाफ। वो ये नहीं चाहते कि यहाँ पर जेपीसी बिठाए और जेपीसी के ओर से इसकी तनकायत यानी इंक्वायरी हो, वो नहीं चाहते।
आपका ट्रायल चला था, उस समय क्यों नहीं किया? अब जब आपका कन्विक्शन हो गया तो आप जो अपीलेट कोर्ट को आप डराने के लिए, जुडिशरी को आप धमकाने के लिए ये जो नाटक कर रहे हैं, ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। मैं इसका खंडन करता हूँ। हम लोग जुडिशरी का जो बात होते है वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इश्यूज का है। यहाँ मैं जुडिशियल प्रोनाउंसमेंट का बात कर रहा हूँ कि कोर्ट ने जब किसी को कन्विक्शन कर दिया तो उसके बाद ये जो ड्रामा कर रहे हैं, ये बेसिकली जो ऊपर के जो अदालत है उसको ऊपर में दबाव डालने के लिए, डराने के लिए ये कांग्रेस का ड्रामा है। इसलिए मैंने कहा कि कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरे के पूरे एक परिवार को देश से ऊपर मानते हैं।
And frankly, the fact that he took a week or his lawyers took a week to prepare the defense means that we're taking the judiciary with utmost seriousness and we are going ahead and filing a serious appeal. I think there are real doubts about the soundness of the verdict to begin with, and there is also some serious concern about the quantum of the sentence. So on both grounds, I hope there'll be a very strong and robust appeal, and I'm sure that that's why they took a full week to prepare it.
एक तरफ बीजेपी पार्टी कहते हैं कि राहुल जी क्यों नहीं जुडिशियरी के पास जाते हैं, उनका अगर केस है तो क्यों नहीं जाते हैं, अगर जाते हैं तो भी उनको बुरा लगते हैं। हम तो जुडिशियरी के पास ही जाएंगे। राहुल गांधी जो कह दिए हैं वो डरते नहीं, डरने वाला है नहीं। वो मोदी जी से और अमित शाह जी के सामने सर झुकाएंगे नहीं, तो कहाँ जाएंगे? जुडिशियरी के पास ही तो जाना है।
लीगल टीम अपना काम कर रही है। हमारी गुजरात की लीगल टीम है, हमारी देश की लीगल टीम है, और लीगल एस्पेक्ट को वो देख रहे हैं। हम तो सिर्फ एक कांग्रेस का कार्यकर्ता होने के नाते उनके साथ यहाँ सड़क पे खड़ा होने से हमको कोई रोक नहीं सकता। जब हमारा नेता यहाँ आएगा तो हम उनके साथ खड़े रहेंगे, कांग्रेस का कार्यकर्ता खड़ा रहेगा। अब वो चाहे मुख्यमंत्री है, चाहे कोई आदमी वर्किंग कमेटी का मेंबर है, चाहे कितना भी बड़ा नेता है, भावनात्मक रूप से सब राहुल गांधी के नेतृत्व में हम जुड़े हुए हैं। तो वो जहां जाएंगे देश में, हम सभी जगह जाएंगे उनके साथ।
मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि अपील के अंदर अगर फैसला बगैर किसी दबाव के होता है तो फैसला राहुल गांधी के हक में आएगा। 2 साल की जो उनको सज़ा दी गई है वो ख़त्म हो।
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Let's get you a quick check of the big political story from America we're tracking. Former US President Donald Trump's indictment by a New York grand jury has thrust the country into uncharted political, legal and historical waters. It is still unclear how the criminal case will unfold because we still don't know the exact charges that Donald Trump faces. Though the indictment, which has been filed under seal, is yet to be unveiled, Trump and his allies have already torn into District Attorney Alvin Bragg and the grand jury's decision, blasting it as political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history court. This is the first time in American history that a current or former president has faced criminal charges. But despite this, Trump can still fight the 2024 presidential elections that he plans to. Now, Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud as far as this indictment is concerned. The investigation by Manhattan District Attorney's Office began when Trump was still in the White House. and relates to a $130,000 payment made by Trump's then personal attorney Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels in late October 2016, days before the presidential election, to allegedly silence her from going public about an alleged affair with Trump a decade earlier. Trump, of course, on his part, has denied having this affair. Now, hush money payments aren't exactly illegal in USA. For example, between 1997 and 2017, US Congress, which is essentially their parliament, paid $17 million in settlements. Ahead of the indictment, prosecutors were weighing whether to charge Trump with falsifying business records for the Trump Organization for how it reflected the reimbursement of the payment to Cohen, who said he advanced the money to Daniels. Falsifying business records is a misdemeanor in New York, but prosecutors were also weighing whether to charge Trump with falsifying business records in the first degree for allegedly doing so with an intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal another crime, which in this case then could be a violation of campaign finance laws. That becomes a Class E felony and carries a sentence of a minimum of 1 year to as much as 4 years. To prove the case, though, prosecutors would need to show that Trump intended to commit a crime.
Now he turns around purely for political purposes and indicts a former president on misdemeanor offenses that they're straining to try to convert into felonies. That is when you know that the law has been weaponized for political purposes. That is when you know that the left is using that to target their political opponents.
Let's also tell you quickly what happens on New York. That's when Trump is expected in court for his first appearance. These are generally public proceedings. Defendants are usually booked and fingerprinted. Trump's mugshot could also be taken, which is all procedural. And if a first appearance is also an arranged